What's going on YouTube? I'm back with another video. Instead of doing a live stream, this is actually my first ever recording ever being posted here. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. I will be talking about one of my favorite games and franchises, Need for Speed. More specifically, Pro Street. And, while I talk about it, I'm going to have some footage in the background. This is from a previous stream. Essentially, this game you're going through playing as a character named Ryan Cooper, who is, before this game, supposedly a known street racer who's very, very popular on the racing scene. The only thing that's a little different is, so you've got, this is its own story, but the fans have a fan theory where you go from the very first, not really the first Need for Speed, but the first of the early 2000s. So Need for Speed Underground, Underground 2, and then getting into Most Wanted, into Carbon, and then Pro Street. Because in the original 4 games, they didn't give a name to the character. It was just known as the player. So people have been theorizing for years that Ryan Cooper is the main character throughout the whole series. And one thing that kind of like adds to it is the fact of, like, while you're in the race events in this game, the announcer, when you're just sitting in the menu, will every now and then talk about, like, some of your past racing experiences, talking about how you aren't always doing things, like, legally. So, as you could tell from there, it does, like I said, kind of hint back at the fact that he was a street racer before he started doing this track style of racing. So that's where a lot of people tend to theorize. There's also some other clips here and there of where they kind of make, like, small references to the older games, like in this one specifically. During one of the events, you'll hear the announcer kind of come over and mention the fact that there is a blue BMW that's parked near a tent that's supposedly in the way or whatever, hinting at the Need for Speed Most Wanted from 2005, where we have, which is, like I said, an exact reference to this BMW specifically. I'm trying to find a better image. Come on. Here we go. This BMW specifically. So, it does, like I said, give hints back to the original games of Most Wanted. But the installment right after this is called Need for Speed Undercover. And supposedly this is where the story of Ryan Cooper ends, is this game. Because in the very next game, again, you're playing as another unknown player, but there's another little Easter egg where it says the police have pulled over a suspect, and the audio, but this is the little Easter egg you get.
I got a guy resisting arrest here in the backseat of my cruiser. He's not talking, and he refused to take off his racing helmet. Got his ID here. Surname Cooper, first name Ryan. You run a check for priors. I don't know if I'm not right about the check.
Roger that.
And that obviously was a reference to um, the fact that he never takes his helmet off in any of the game's cutscenes. Like, especially when you win one of the um, main areas of the map. So, like, when you beat Ray, you beat Carol, you beat Nate, you beat Aki, you'll have a cutscene of a character who doesn't remove his helmet. And like I said, EA Black Box Studio, they poked fun at it a little bit in Undercover because so many people were like, why didn't you make it to where you could do that? Aside from the point, anyways, I think they could have expanded a little bit more though, because like I said, the fact that it's not confirmed that Ryan Cooper is the main character from the original first 4 games. They could have done more gameplay wise, probably, instead of just ending it with just the one game. But again, like I said, with all the theories of, oh, he started from Underground to Underground 2 to Most Wanted to Carbon. But the other reason why they have that theory, though, is because of the cutscene. So, the reason they believe, like I said, that this game is connected to one another is because of this single cutscene right here that's about to show. So this is back before you leave this city the first time, which you never see that happen in the game except for this one cutscene. Kind of gets replayed because the story is being told over and over again of what had happened the night of this specific race. So you come in as the player, you're driving the Toyota Supra, and obviously the red bag is the money. Well, as you can see, everybody leaves the line. It's a normal race, nothing's crazy yet. Then you get to the point where the other 3 cars with you there that you're racing against all get hit with something sort of like an EMP right here. And as you notice, only those 3 cars are affected. The Supra, he's still active. Obviously the race was rigged by the main antagonist of this game, Darius. And through that, you can see everybody's getting arrested, and because obviously it's a street race, it's illegal. So, bag, you don't know it at this point in the game, but the bag's been swapped, and obviously it's not full of money. And then you get a call from Darius saying, hey, leave the city till it's cooled down. And that's kind of where everybody cuts it off there at that cutscene and says, okay, so that's where we get into Need for Speed Underground. We get into Underground 2, and that's where the story of Ryan Cooper kind of picks up. And then once you get all the way done with Underground, Underground 2, Most Wanted, you end up coming back to the city to clear your name. Well, once you finish this game, that's, like I said, when Pro Street comes out. Is not long after, about a year or two. And that's when we finally have the name of a protagonist, Ryan Cooper. But, again, this is all fan theory. My personal opinion, though, the way the game setup ended there was fine if it wasn't for the fact that, like I said, this is a fan theory, not the actual game itself. But if we were to say that this is true and not just a game theory, You could easily have made a movie out of this. The reason I say that is because we already have a Need for Speed movie, but it doesn't tie to any of the games at all. It makes no sense. Yeah, it has a good storyline, but my personal opinion, they should have done something that's actually like attached to the franchise. Whether they did it, the story of the player, the story of Ryan Cooper, assuming they're two separate people, or if it's one person, the transformation from going from underground street racing to wanted street racing to, hey, I'm cutting out of the street racing scene and going into more of a track scene, but it's still custom, it's not sponsored. Either way, that's going to be it for this video. If you like this sort of content or want to see more at some point, drop a like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Peace.